trying to get an airstrike over on that opposite side. Copy.
What's up everyone, Tom from the Airsoft headquarters here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to take a look at the Zion Arms R&D licensed AEG PDW here. Now, before we get into it, I do want to make certain that you guys are aware that liking the video, subscribing, and also sharing the video, leaving comments are all going to be great ways in order to get information out to everyone else on this platform. I do the best that I can as far as getting content out to you guys, making sure I'm as informed as possible. But of course, the rest is up to the YouTube gods. But it has to be on your end in order to help push the video out to everyone else. Currently, there is no other manual available for the Zion Arms PW unless this one just didn't come with one. So I'm asking you guys to help me out so that everyone knows when they do pick up one of these Zion Arms, what they can expect, what the features are, and what it's all coming with. Because I'm researching back and forth on a couple different sites, and there is some inconsistencies, so I'm hoping to put to rest some misinformation, misconception for you guys. So let's get into it. The Zion Arms PW9 is a 9mm AR style of rifle system. What is truly exceptional is that from this manufacturer and at this price point, it is going to be an all metal receiver. The handguard, the receiver, the body, and even the battery extension is going to be all metal, and it's going to be chock full of accessories and features that I'm going to bring up to you guys in today's video. The Zion Arms PW9, at least that is the official title from Zion Arms, is going to be a 9mm AR style of rifle system. And given the price point and the original manufacturer, it is truly remarkable that it is going to be an all metal construction of rifle system. Metal handguard, high strength metal receiver, even the battery extension unit here, all metal, and internally is going to be chock full of features. And a lot more features than what was originally released at SHOT Show, which is going to be a very common thing in the next couple of product videos, because we are getting those SHOT Show products, and there's some extra stuff that was not talked about at SHOT Show. So please make sure you stay tuned and listen to all the features and information about this product. So early on in the life of making YouTube videos, someone did leave a comment, hey, maybe you should be reading off of a script. You would probably sound a lot better. Well, I do way better without a script and just doing like general bullet point type stuff, but I am going to try to do a sexy ad read from Zion Arms about this product. The Zion Arms R&D Precision AEG is an officially licensed 1-to-1 scale authentic replica of the patented bufferless 9mm blowback system. The PW9 is Zion Arms' entry into the 9mm AR machine pistols in Airsoft with a full metal reinforced version 2 gearbox and our programmable Nebula electronic trigger unit. The PW9 is the first on the market to feature a 9mm M4 body design that uses a modular Picatinny stock attachment system that allows any stock or brace with Picatinny mounts for further customization of the gun. This gun features a full CNC aluminum body made from 7075 T6 aircraft grade billet aluminum that features the same feel and functionality as the real steel counterpart. The R&D PW9 offers everything you need from a traditional M4, but with a smaller footprint. First off, this is an officially licensed product. I did not know that this was like a real rifle. Like, I have never seen something like this out floating in the real world. Now, I did do a little bit of additional research, and it turns out that the R&D license is just for the upper receiver. So it is a complete upper build from R&D, distributed by Reiner Arms, and then you can add whatever lower you want. So this is the Zion Arms lower paired with the licensed R&D upper receiver. Pretty cool. And because it is going to be licensed off of the complete upper receiver, that leads perfectly into the typical tip to butt of a product overview. So let's get right into it. Of course, up front, for the entire length of the 16 inches that we have here, we have at the very tip here, the standard mandatory orange tip, the federally mandated orange tip, which, surprise, actually is not held on by any glue, but you didn't hear that from me. So if you apply just a little bit of muscle, that will come off, and in the box is going to be this squared and cut muzzle brake that doesn't quite 100% have great realistic functionality, but it looks cool and it looks super aggressive, and it adds the smallest amount of length, about an extra inch. So it now comes to a total of 17 inches in length, which is still incredibly small and short. If you did want to incorporate any type of tracer unit, obviously there's a plethora of tracer units. My personal favorite from Ace Tech, the lighter S, the brighter C, the blaster, the Bifrost, and even the lighter R when I do want to run my red tracer BBs. And underneath there is going to be a full metal outer barrel. Around that outer barrel, we do have the short 6-inch rail system, which there's a lot going on, and also turns out not a lot going on. So up at the very top here, we do have our top Picatinny rail system, standard Picatinny, no issues there. Underneath there, we do have the charging handle that will actuate the imitation dust cover. So pull backwards on that, springs back forward, but retains open that dust cover for you to change your rotary hop-up adjustments, and then hitting the imitation bolt is going to lock it back forward. Pretty cool, pretty straightforward. Really cool feature is that this is going to be ambidextrous. Little did you know, and probably if you did any type of research, you would have seen that the charging handle is typically on the left side of the receiver. We've already swapped it to the right side to demonstrate it is swappable. As long as you have the correct size Allen screw, that's all you need to just take it off, and then just flip the block, and then flip the handle, and then attach the screw back into it. Really easy, really straightforward, and a little addicting in order to get that charging action. The 45 degrees are going to be very heavily cut, and it is designed, I believe, for weight reduction, because this is a super heavy rifle system to begin with, so let's just take all the weight off. On the left and right at the 3 and 9 o'clock position, we do have our M-LOK rail segments. So it is super minimalist, not a whole lot of serrations in order to cut your gloves, or if this wasn't already really polished, it would cut your fingers. But the top rail system, very smooth, very polished, not a whole lot of that sharp edges like you do some of those mil-spec rail systems. So it keeps everything super streamlined and super smooth for you. Right behind those M-LOK rail systems is going to be what would appear to be a sling QD socket. This actually is not a QD sling socket. One is led to believe it is because of what Zion Arms and other retailers suggest. But I can tell you firsthand through not only my collection of QD sling points, but also our other QD sling points that we have here available in the store, and from other staff members, there's not nearly enough depth due to the barrel nut underneath the rail system here in order to properly sling your QD sling point. So you need to get your QD sling point, and you need to cut away, I would say at that spot, probably about 1.5 millimeters off the base if you did want to get a QD slot inside of there, which is a little disappointing because we'll get into that. But on the very bottom, that 6 o'clock position, we have a hand stop angled grip that is built into the rail system. So there's no type of M-LOK, Keymod, Picatinny, or any other type of modular rail attachment system. So you are stuck with just grabbing it like this, which, if you are not familiar with super short barreled systems, is not a super comfortable position or manner to hold your rifle system. You do have to do some pretty extensive chicken winging. And if you're asking yourself, Talon, can this handguard be changed out for anything else? The answer is no, due to having to access that hop-up unit via this charging handle system that is not interchangeable. So you're kind of just stuck with the rail system as is. Some people like it, some people don't. That's just a heads up. That is going to be a metal barrel that does go all the way to the very back here, about 5 inches in length. And if you want to know what the inner barrel length is, I have it pre-written down. Ooh, there it is. About 146 millimeters. Just a heads up if you guys did want to change it out. It does come with what is said via zionarms.com. It is said to be a copper inner barrel. But if you look at it, that looks a lot like a brass inner barrel. It says it's a 6.03. I don't have any type of gauge in order to measure if it is a 6.03 or not, but it is pretty brass looking. The controls of the receiver between the upper and the lower are going to be standardized for any type of right-hand shooters, because magazine release, bolt release, and selector are all going to be favored for right-hand individuals. Anyone who's going to be left-handed can still operate the selector. It is still going to be a little stiff. You can still get your hand up there and engage that bolt release, and you can still have the same type of control of dropping that magazine, stripping it out with your right hand, but it's just slightly different ergonomics compared to someone who's going to be right-handed. While it is not being advertised as being ambidextrous, it does have some ambidextrous features, such as the ambidextrous charging handle, which is a little weird. That's one of the only things that's on the list of things that are ambidextrous, so let's add to it. What else is ambidextrous about this? The handguard. The handguard is also ambidextrous. The trigger seems pretty ambidextrous to me. Grip, pretty ambidextrous. The stock, or lack thereof, pretty ambidextrous. I think left or right-handed people could use and control this without any type of problem. So there we have our shorter list of ambidextrous controls. Feel free to add to it in the comment section. What else on this system is going to be ambidextrous? The QD swivel points that don't actually have your swivel attached to it. Also, technically ambidextrous. Going down to the lower receiver, we do have the same type of metal construction as the upper receiver. It is going to be a 9mm type of magazine, which, if we look inside of the box, there is going to be a mid-cap magazine that is going to come in the box with it. And for all of you guys that are curious, what type of magazine does it take? It does take the classic Army style of mid-cap magazine. And this is very similarly spec'd to that classic Army Nemesis X9 mag. The issue we have found is that without a whole lot of force, this magazine in the box does drop out relatively easily. In fact, shake it just a little too much and it does fall out, which probably not in the pro category, but don't worry, I've got you covered. In this box, I have a selection of some accessories that I would have personally attached to this rifle system. Luckily, however, it's a relatively light box. Even better, there's only 2 items in it. One of those items is the PTS AR9 130 round mid-cap magazine. So this is going to be compatible and does lock into place into the Zion Arms PW9. So to give you better performance, will actually lock into place and will not come out. Superior performance from PTS. Paired with Zion Arms electronic trigger unit, it uses a flat trigger, and enlarged trigger guard to help with feathering and rapid firing on semi. For all of my indoor guys, this is not enlarged for feathering. It can be enlarged for gloved fingers. It is not enlarged for feathering. Unless you have small little baby hands, which if you have small little baby hands, I would recommend doing some push-ups and getting some man hands to be a little bit better. But for me, I can start to get the tip of 2 fingers inside of here, but definitely, definitely not enough room in order to feather. Considering my fingers just got stuck on camera inside the trigger guard. So not a feathering setup of gun. Secondly, rapid firing on semi. Also not gonna be super fast. I think on the recording, I got up to 7 point something rounds per second on semi-automatic, trying to go as fast as possible. Granted, it has an ECU type of MOSFET system, so it is significantly easier to ride the wall and get as fast of a trigger response as possible, but it still was not super, super great. In programming, you can do binary. So on full auto, if you program the full auto setting to binary, the pull and release of the trigger is going to be a shot. So shot, 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 shot. This I have gotten up to 14 rounds a second. Standard full auto on this gun with the battery inside the box, which we'll talk about in a second, gets up to 18 rounds per second. So it ripped pretty good. And you can get a pretty high rate of fire on binary mode. Semi, really low. Feathering, impossible. Just want to correct that for you guys, so you know that you can't do that. So if we go back from the trigger guard, we do have the beaver tail motor grip. Now this is going to be one of the only things externally that is going to be polymer, as well as the battery compartment cap. Those are going to be the only two things that are not metal externally. Going backwards, we have the battery compartment cap, which is going to be the only other thing that is polymer, and that is what this entire block is for. So in the box, you do have a battery and charger. The battery is going to be this fat cube right here. This is going to be an 11.1 volt, 1000 milliamp hour, 1100 milliamp hour battery. So this is designed to sit inside here. You have your cap, pull it downwards. The back is gonna come up and away before this part here. So if we can get on camera, that part there, and then press this guy down and it lifts like so. It does come wired to Dean's. Super advantageous, super great. Everyone loves a good Dean's connector. Plug it in, I gotta find it. Super smooth, super easy. Beep confirmation that it gets plugged in because it utilizes the Nebula MOSFET system, same as what's coming in the Lancer Gen 3s. And let's do some dry fire shots. Pretty snappy, pretty snappy. Not like perfect snappy, but still really, really, really snappy for like an out of the box PDW. Again, taking into consideration that vertical grip. Pretty good snap. And I haven't done anything as far as programming. As limited as the programming is, I've not done anything to this MOSFET specifically. Full auto, pretty good. And that battery is designed to go up into the compartment here. But you may also notice that there is this little hole right here. I had assumed when I first opened the box and took a look at it that that may have been another quick detach sling point, such as for this guy. But I did a little bit of research, tried it out, and for your guys' sake, it is not a sling disconnect swivel point, whatever they call it. It does give you access to the quick change spring system. So you would take your Allen screw, it would go through this hole and into the spring guide bolt that is on the interior here. Loosen that up, undo it. The bolt does contain, or is pretty self-contained inside of the body here. Pull that away, and then that gives you access to the quick change spring system, which gives you the ability to go up in velocity. What is this shooting out of the box? Our reading was 339 to 348 feet per second with a 0.20 gram BB. And that was consistent over a couple of times shooting it through the chrono in order to try to get a good semi-automatic rate of fire reading for you guys. So a little bit different compared to what Zion Arms is listing on their website. The ones that we have received are in fact lower than what has been stated, but that's just how the dice gets rolled. It just came with a slightly weaker spring. On the very back of the battery compartment box is going to be a 4-slot Picatinny segment for any type of Picatinny attached stock systems. I conveniently have in my collection this guy right here, which is going to be a Sig Folding Stock. And this does take a standard Allen screw, but I'm not gonna exactly lock it down. So this is what that rifle would look like with the folding stock on there. Now, you guys may be asking, why did you put that stock so low? You've got all of this other top rail space for mounting it. And for all my guys who are gonna be running a full face mask or even a partial full face mask, having the stock sit a little bit lower, so we have all this extra material between the stock face and the top of the rail system allows for that stock material to sit right here in this space. So if they run a raised optic or like a red dot or something of that manner, you know, that just makes aiming for them a little bit easier. They don't have to cram their mask all the way flat here, and they definitely don't have to tip the rifle this way in order to try to get a good line of sight through the optic. They can come right about here pretty comfortably. That is my hack for that. If you get your Zion Arms rifle system brand new, this is what the box is gonna look like. Take the foam out, that's what the internals are, minus, of course, the rifle system, which would sit right here. But let's go over what each slot would be. First of all, the big one right here, obviously your AEG. There would be a little Zion Arms patch right here. Unjamming rod, super necessary, super important. The little square cutout right here would be your square muzzle brake, which I know certain retailers online have this painted orange. This model did not come orange, others might, I don't know. The mid-cap magazine, which, while a good magazine, it's not a good magazine if it doesn't fit and lock into place. Little sad. This may look like a cheapo speed loader. It is actually one of the Leylex satellite speed loaders. These are a little bit more of a clone compared to the ones that I actually have here. These look to hold 160 rounds. So this is gonna load up your individual magazines a lot. For example, 130 round capacity. This speed loader, compared to others, the smaller ones, the little smaller profile ones that don't have this extension, are 90 rounds in capacity. So you would need to reload the smaller profile one twice in order to load your mid cap. This one, load it once, reload, maybe even load this up with BBs a second time, put it on your person, go to the field, run out of BBs in your magazine, speed load another mag while in spawn, and then you're good to go with 2 magazines. I think it's pretty neat. I like these speed loaders. They're not the actual Leylex ones, they're clones of the Leylex ones, but whatever. We have a battery safety bag. That's really it, battery safety bag. So when you're charging your 1100 milliamp hour, 11.1 volt, what's the C rating on this guy? It does not say. I like to know what the C rating of batteries are. Something happened? Oh, okay. This one does not say what the C rating is. Usually I'll like max my batteries out at 25C. I'll like explicitly run my 30Cs on nicer MOSFETted guns. So this one being a nicer Zion Arms Nebula MOSFET, you could get away with running 30C LiPo batteries. Only use Airsoft brands. We have had customers very recently use non-Airsoft ones, so please use your Airsoft lithium batteries. And then in the box as well, you have a Zion Arms charger and the charger adapter. What I like about this guy is that when you plug your battery in, it actually tells you what the voltage is of the battery as it's charging and what the actual percentage is while it's charging. So if you plug it onto the charger or onto the wall and it says 20%, well, you know that you may need to hang out for maybe an hour, hour plus before that gets 100%. But if it says 70% and you're getting called to go to the next game, well, 70%, that's more than enough for a couple of games. So you may choose to pull it off the charger right then and there and go play with it until you take another big break for lunch, put it on the charger during lunch, whatever have you. And then let's say we take out the entire section of foam here. We have 2 instruction manuals. We have the charger. Is this a charger? This is the charger instruction manual. And this one is the LiPo battery instruction manual. First time seeing a battery get its own instruction manual. And that, my friends, is it. That is the only thing included in the box. You may be thinking to yourselves, or maybe not, that there are a couple things missing. One, the actual gun instruction manual. That'd be pretty nice to have. Two, how to program said MOSFET that comes in your gun. So, if what I'm doing does not make sense for you guys, Lancer Tactical does conveniently have a video on how to do programming mode on this guy. And I'm sure other Airsoft YouTubers will also demonstrate how to do so. So, I need to do things a little bit backwards so you guys can see the selector here. So, with your battery plugged in, semi-auto, semi-auto. So each trigger pull is going to give you a different series of beeps. And each number of beep is supposed to coordinate to what the feature is. So one should be semi, 2 beeps should be 2-round burst, so on and so forth. And then we'll get to a point where there's different pitches of beeps. So semi, semi, semi burst. This should be full auto, and I think this is binary. Once you have your selection, hold down the full auto burst. It's gonna give you a flat 2 beeps to confirm that the selection has been made. So let's go safe, full auto. Dang it, it was the other way around. Okay, quickly, we're gonna go semi, heh, heh, heh. Now we should be in binary. Press and hold to confirm. Now we're gonna go back into semi, into full auto, and that is binary mode. Pretty cool. One thing to note is with this programmability, it is only going to change the functionality of the full auto setting. Your safe will always be safe. Your semi will always be semi. Full auto is what is going to change, and you can select it to single shot, 2 shot, 3, 4, 5-round burst, binary, or full auto is the last one. And then it'll cycle back to single shot, and then you just go through. Remember to press and hold for 2 seconds in order to confirm your selection, and that then will take you out of the programming feature. So let's program it back to full auto. Starting in semi. Just like that. So, semi. Full auto. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. One final note before we get into the conclusion of the rifle system is that you may have noticed that there is a tag on the rifle system right here. It comes with, on one side, the note that it does have a 1-year warranty. This does mean that out of the box, you will need to keep this mostly stock. Obviously, you can add whatever type of rail system attachments, red dots, PEC boxes, flashlights. You can even add stuff on the side here. They did make it easy in order to remove the orange tip in order to add a tracer unit or the muzzle device. They kept it really simple in order to add any type of stock system, and you still have the ability to change the programmability from the outside of the gun here. It's not anything that you need to go into the gun with. That being said, it needs to be in that configuration. Warranty is covered with the stock product and not anything that you've done any type of modification towards. So you have to keep it in this configuration for 1 year in order to keep the full warranty. On the back side here is a QR code. keep this QR code, because when you scan it with your phone camera, it will take you immediately to the warranty page. As soon as you get it, claim that warranty for a full year, and they make it as easy as possible for you. Because if something out of the box were to mess up a day, a week, a month after using it, it's better to have the warranty applied than to just have it voided for some bullshit reason. They do have smaller little stipulations and small little asterisks, ooh, a little cliff note, that they can just randomly apply in order to potentially not be able to claim your warranty. So don't modify it, claim your warranty right away in order to make sure you have the best case use with this. For example, with this gun specifically, the one out of the box here, if for whatever reason, one of your magazines doesn't work, claim the warranty, claim a warranty, like start a warranty claim, say that your magazine was defective, it falls out, they will either send you a brand new magazine or they may ship the gun, which is really not super great. But if you bought it from a retailer, a local retailer, they should be able to take care of you within the first 30 days without having to actually utilize the distributor warranty. Distributor being Lancer Tactical or going to Zion Arms directly. Just as a heads up, it does benefit to purchase locally. That way you don't have to send your gun back for weeks at a time waiting to get something back. Activate your warranty, but also shop local. So this is like a really advantageous setup for you guys. Again, for the scenario that I brought up, you're in a big city, public transportation, you want a low profile, just kit to go to the field and play, this would be it. So I think this is a really good build. I think you guys are probably gonna have a lot of fun. And obviously enjoy it for what it is. If you guys do have any further questions about the Zion Arms PW9, if you do have any further things about this rifle system or Zion Arms, anything in general, let me know down in the comments section below. But with that being said, I'm all done here. So you guys take care, stay safe, stay positive, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. What else is ambidextrous about this? The handguard. The handguard is also ambidextrous. The trigger seems pretty ambidextrous to me. Grip, pretty ambidextrous. The stock, or lack thereof, pretty ambidextrous. I think left or right-handed people could use and control this without any type of problem. So there we have our shorter list of ambidextrous controls.